Okay, hello everyone. Apparently, I am live. I am so excited to be with you today because I am joining you in my very first live video. So, as I was preparing to broadcast live for the first time, I was inspired to ask you a question. And that question is, do you ever wonder if your comfort zone is holding you back from greater fundraising success? So it was back earlier this year in January. It was just after the new year. And I was inspired to set myself a New Year's resolution. I wanted to get over my fear, really, of being on camera. So I decided I was going to start making short videos so that I could share my learnings and practical tips from 20 years of fundraising. So I set about getting myself a tripod and a camera and some lights, and I got to it. And when I started doing that video, I had no idea that it would take me 19 takes by the time I was finished. So that for me was a really interesting learning experience. And I've made quite a few videos since then. And every time I got a bit more practice, every time it got just a little bit easier as I really practiced and generally grew my comfort zone. So while it's always hard to break out a comfort zone at first, the real key is to actually just get in there and do it. And so that's really what happens, like what happened with my videos. That's what happens when you start pushing out of your fundraising zone, or pushing out, sorry, of your comfort zone with your fundraising as well. So I, as someone who likes to push out of my comfort zone on a regular basis, wanted to come to you today with a few practical tips on how you can start moving out of your comfort zone and growing that comfort zone so you can increase your fundraising success. All right, so I am going to jump right in. Okay, my first tip is to ease into it, but since you're leaving your comfort zone, maybe it's ease out of it. So what I mean here is, just like with my videos, I didn't jump in the deep end and go straight to live broadcasting. I started slowly. I eased in with some short videos of under 2 minutes. I got lots of practice and I grew my comfort zone. So it's the same thing with fundraising. If you're like a lot of fundraisers I work with, chances are you'd like to have more one-on-one interaction with your major donors. You maybe want to pick up the phone and have more meaningful conversations with your donors as well. And that's outside of a lot of people's comfort zones. So I think the key here really is, don't start with your toughest customers first. So ease into it by setting up a meeting with a donor you know a little bit better, a donor that you're friendlier with. Pick up the phone and call them first. So that's my first tip for you, is to ease into or ease out of your comfort zone using baby steps. All right, so my second tip for you is to embrace your nerves. So what do I mean about that? This is an idea I came across when I was reading Elton John's new biography. It's very entertaining. If you are an Elton John fan, if you are a music fan, if you're into pop culture, definitely pick that up and give it a read. His new autobiography is great. And I read something in there that really resonated with me. So he said that he still gets nervous every time he performs, even after 50 years. And he's actually glad for those nerves, because he says the second that you stop getting nervous, you start phoning it in. So that was a really interesting concept for me, is that someone like Elton John, even after 50 years of experience playing some of the biggest stages in the world, is still someone who gets nervous before he goes on stage, and he really uses those nerves to his advantage. So your nerves are really playing an important role, so you should embrace them. They're keeping you alert, they're keeping you focused, and even better, it's a great sign that you're actually moving outside of your comfort zone when you are feeling nervous. And of course, as Elton points out, it can actually improve your performance and make sure that you're not phoning it in. So my third tip for you is to find yourself an accountability partner or an accountability buddy. So it's confession time for me now. This is a super busy week of travel. I've got a lot of client commitments. I've got a lot of deadlines. And if I hadn't put my intention to do my first live video today into writing in an email with some of my fundraising colleagues, I probably wouldn't be doing it. So it made me realize the importance of actually having accountability buddies, having accountability partners that can really help hold your feet to the fire to some degree on something that you might otherwise procrastinate on that you don't feel super comfortable with. So putting a commitment in writing in general can be a super powerful motivator. So if you're watching this live or if you're joining us in the replay, I just want to encourage you, think of something. It might be a very small goal that will move you outside of your comfort zone in terms of your fundraising, and leave a comment for me here, because writing it down, I think writing your goals down can really increase your commitment and move you towards taking those baby steps out of your comfort zone. So I'm just going to do a quick recap to wrap up because I want to keep this one short and sweet. So I talked first about the idea of easing out of your comfort zone. Don't start with your toughest task first. Build confidence with practice and take baby steps out of that comfort zone. The second tip I had for you is to embrace your nerves, be like Elton, and welcome them, welcome nervousness, because it actually does improve your focus and your performance. My third tip for you is the idea of getting an accountability buddy or an accountability partner. Put that commitment into writing and make sure you hold yourself accountable to moving and growing that comfort zone so you can increase your fundraising success. All right, so I will be back live again. I'm planning on doing regular live broadcasts and doing Q&A sessions and even bringing on some guests to speak with you. So I want to hear from you. I'm really curious, what are you struggling with right now? What do you really need help with? And what topics are you really curious about that you're interested in hearing more about? I hope you'll leave me a comment, or you can get in touch with me at 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗄𝗏.com. All my contact information is there. And finally, I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join me and to watch this. I'm very grateful. So with that, I will say goodbye and wish you a wonderful week. All right, I'm Emma Lewzey, and I am signing off. Thank you.